Hi, everybody. Welcome at the Rentman Product Webinar, July 26th. Wow, I already see 66 people coming in. Welcome again today. My name is Roy, and I'm going to talk you through some of our updates of the last quarter. Nan is going to do all the heavy lifting, and I can show you some examples of our latest MCP in the end. We wait a few minutes until everybody arrives. But I'm always curious where you guys are calling in from. It's always spectacular to see so many people across the globe. Usually other people from the US, some Dutchies. And I think now we are in the soccer championship world series. So I'd like to hear where you guys are calling in from so I can root from you. Let us know in the chat. And I think about the chat. Throughout the session, we will have our support agents in the chat. And they can help you with all kind of questions. It's coming already. Bristol, Florida, Sweden, Ireland, Amersfoort.
US.
That must be Pim Muller. Sweden, Holland. Yeah, of course, the Dutchies. Mexico. I see Sweden a lot. Greece. Swiss. My girlfriend is from Switzerland, so I go there a lot. Nice. Breda. Hungary. It's cool to see. So, guys, I see all these countries, but who's going to win the World Cup? I heard Argentina is a bit Portugal. I think also a contender, right?
We have to know who to root for now.
Yeah, because the Dutchies got out. But our Canadian office can still root for Canada, right? Cool, guys. A lot of different nationalities again. Finland.
Yeah, cool to see.
Azerbaijan. I think that's a first. At least the first time I see it. Cool. Now, and I think we give everybody the opportunity to come join us. You want to kick it off?
Yes. So we've got a couple of things on the agenda today. Thanks, Roy. My name is Nan. I'm a product manager at Rentman for Team Crew. And I'm here to share some exciting improvements to you, which we've shipped to our crew and inventory products in the last month. I'll take you through some of those improvements. And then Roy will tell you a little bit about another exciting thing that we've recently launched or currently have in beta, which is the MCP. So let's get this thing started. Starting off, I've got some improvements we rolled out for the crew product in the last couple of months. Starting off with the ability to add functions to multiple function groups at the same time. So when setting up a project that spans multiple days, weeks, or even months, there are often repeating roles that come back more often on repeating days. And right now, that's quite a cumbersome process to set that up. But we've added a functionality that makes it a little bit more smooth to set up these functions. And I'd love to show that to you. So let's go take a look. So I've got a film festival planned here, the Extravaganza Film Festival. We've got a 2-week itinerary here, consisting of a couple of build-up days. We've got a total week of event, and then we have some breakdown days in the end. But I've planned everything, but I've forgot to add the camera operators because we're filming the whole thing. We want to, get some content for that. And now I need to, for all the event days, I need to add a camera operator. So before you had to go back and forth manually between the days. Now you can just select all the days for this event that you would like to add a role for. I can go to the left here to default functions, and I can choose camera operator. I've got it here in the default functions. When I click add, it will check with you, hey, you're adding these functions to these different function groups. Are you sure you want to do that? Now, if you're a Rentman Power user, you can always choose to skip this to next time. But by default, we always take you by the hand a little bit to make sure that you can see what you're doing. When I click continue here, you can see that I've now added a camera operator to all the different days. And now, say I also need to add a all-round technician to maybe day 1, day 2, day 6, day 7, because we've got some special productions planned for these days. I can do something similar. I can say I take event day 1, 2, 6, and 7, and add a all-round technician here. Likewise, if I'd like to schedule the crew for this, so say I can now see here in the crew scheduling tab, when I switch there, I can see that I've got the camera operators here. I can plan these in a similar way. So say I want to plan my all-around technicians here that I've just added. I can similarly say, okay, I would like to plan John here. I know he's good for it. And you also get a confirmation. And you can save. That is it for adding functions to multiple groups. Next to that, we added the ability to filter on functions in the crew planner. So say you've got a large crew planning overview in the visual crew planner, and you want to plan some people for multiple projects that are in the same function. So for instance, you want to plan stagehands for all your different projects that are coming up. We've now made it a little bit easier to filter and get an overview of those. So let me show you what that looks like. And let's take the film festival that we just talked about as an example. So I've currently filtered on the 1st to 15th of August. I've got the overview here, but I just want to see the stagehands because I still need to plan them. So now here you can go to the filters. Before you could only filter on project properties here. Now you can also filter on function properties. You can filter on the default function that it belongs to, but for instance, also VAT class and some other properties. And say I want to then have a look at all the stagehands. And stagehands, because it's a default function, is something that exists across different projects. I can select that here and add it. And now I only see the stagehands for this film festival. So I could say, okay, I need another stagehand. Let's do, you know what? I'm free. Let's plan me. There we go. I'm now planned here as a stagehand on the Tuesday. And say you would like to use this more often, there are certain roles that you plan a lot. You can also use the views here. So you can create a new view. Now, in this case, it already has all the filters that I have here in the crew planner pre-selected. I don't necessarily want to look at this project always, but I do want to always look at the stagehands. I can create a stagehands view, save it, and then I can always easily filter on it. And this is a functionality that we've got available in all of our different overviews as well, to add custom views to help you organize your data in Rentman. If you haven't tried it yet, give it a try. Next up, we improved the way you can find crew, both in the crew planner and in the schedule. Before, if you were looking for a specific crew, for instance, for your crew lists, you could only look specifically on their name. You'd have to type their name, wait for the right result to come in, which is great for all your internal staff. But what if you're working with a large database of external freelancers, for instance? We've made it a little bit easier to find the right people for the right job. So going back to this project here, I'm going to go back to the default view, filter on August. Boom. Oh, this is July. It's maybe a bit of a large gap. And I can see here that I've forgotten to plan a truck driver, which is kind of awkward because that means the truck's never going to arrive. So I would like to find myself a truck driver. Well, maybe I don't have anybody available within my own company. So I'm looking for somebody external in my database that is a qualified truck driver. If you click on quick search here now, before you could only type on name here, but now you can also use all the tags you might have set up to categorize all your crew members, and you can use the filters that you've set up here. So right now, let's remove all of the selection that I already had because it remembers the last selection that you filled in. So I'm looking for a truck driver. And in this system, in your system, it might be a certain type of license that you put in there or however you've got it set up. And I've got a collection of preferred freelancers, and I know that Amy is an excellent truck driver. So let's see if she's available. I see that she's got nothing planned on the 13th. So I can now easily plan Amy for this and send her the schedule. click send, and Amy's invited. Now, this is also available in the My Schedule, as I mentioned before. So if I go to the schedule and I want to maybe set somebody's availability, I can now go here, availability. I see crew members here. By default, it's selecting me. And I've got the same options available here. This is anywhere in the schedule and anywhere in the crew planner. We now have this advanced way of searching for crew members. And lastly, we've been working on some address improvements for both the UK and the US. Both of these require specific address formats. The UK requires a district field, and the US requires a unit, number, suite field. We saw that it doesn't always, as it used to be, it didn't always resolve right in the documents. So we added these specific fields for UK and US accounts. You can now see country-specific fields there. Say you don't have a UK or US field. We acknowledge that you also might have different fields that are not like this. We've added an extra address line field so that we are flexible enough to support you there as well. Please let us know also if you've got maybe some other country-specific fields that are appropriate for your country. That's it for the crew part. We also have something to share for the inventory product. We recently added the ability to add consumables to combinations. So say, for instance, you are renting out a fog machine. Now, a fog machine doesn't function without the fluid, which is a consumable in Rentman. It's a breakable. And before, it wasn't possible to set this as content for your combinations. And from now on, we've added the ability to add consumables into your combinations as well. So that means if you're sending out a fog machine, it's in a flight case, and you've added the fluid with the fog machine when you're sending it out. This is now possible. And if the combination comes back into the warehouse, it's still sealed. We treat it as unused. So it's automatically sent back to stock. You don't have to worry about it. You can send it again out to a job in the future. Now, if the combination comes back unsealed, you can use the scan return feature in the mobile app to scan the new fluid from your warehouse and put it back into the combination, and it will automatically be taken from your stock. You can seal up the flight case, and it's good to go for your next job. Next up, we've added the ability to sort your shortages that you might have had by equipment. So currently, all of your shortages in Rentman are sorted on project level. From now on, in the table, you can group it based on the equipment to get some insights into when a piece of equipment might be out of the warehouse, and it might help you get some insight in how to sub-rent maybe something more strategic. So if a certain piece of equipment is out for multiple projects on a row, it's easier to see if you might want to combine those sub-rents, for instance, into a single job with a supplier. And let me show you what that looks like in the UI. So we are looking here at rental shortages. You can see here is automatically grouped by project. But we also have an equipment column here. I can now group by equipment, ungroup here, and you can see it is now grouped on a specific equipment type. And I can see where I am missing shortages over time. So you can, for instance, see that these are quite far apart. There might be dates Let's see if we can find one. Or it might be nice to combine these. So for instance, here there is a 2-day gap. It might be interesting to keep your sub-rental going. Here there's also for the same tour. It's being booked for multiple sub-projects. You can see here it's different cities. Might be interesting to sub-rent those together. So grouping this on equipment might give you some insight into what your sub-rental or what your shortages are actually have in common. I see I skipped over one. That would be a shame. We've made it more insightful to track the repair history of specific types of specific items, equipment items on serial number. So we all know it. You send out a piece of equipment on a job, it comes back broken. It's a fact of life. But now we've made it a bit more clear to see what happened to a piece of equipment in the past to also help you get some insights into what you should do with it. So for instance, I'm just going to show you, that's easiest. So if I go to serial numbers here, and I'm already filtering on a Pioneer DGM, I've got this one here. And this mixer has seen some wear and tear over the years. It's been broken multiple times. You can now directly see under the serial number, you can see what repairs were completed and when over the years. And this might help you get potentially some insight into whether it's time to replace this unit perhaps, or if you are a technical repair mechanic in a warehouse, it can help you trace back what has been broken about it in the past. It can be that somebody else worked on it in the past, which makes it easier to then again keep the whole thing around repairs organized. And to either patch it up or choose to replace it. And last up, I'd like to share with you some updates regarding the API. So we're always looking into what amazing things you are all building against our API. It's really cool to see what kind of interfaces, apps, solutions, and other things you've built to make your workflow even smoother. And we try to make sure that when we add things to the API for you to use, that we add things that are actually useful for you. So among the things that we've added in the last months are the managing of tasks and the creation of purchase orders, the editing of purchase orders. You can now also create and update equipment via the API. And equipment comes with folders, so you can also create folders and update them. It's now possible to add suppliers via the API. And you can now also read custom fields from the API as well. And custom fields exist across the range of all things in Rentman, really depending on your setup. And if you'd like to see a full breakdown of everything that we've added in the API, we've got our API documentation available from the support center. And from there, there's a full breakdown of everything that's been added and how you can use it. And next up, you might have heard, I've mentioned it before, you might have heard of the Rentman MCP we've recently launched. You might have already used it to power up your Rentman workspace with AI. And our CEO, Roy, is here to explain you a little bit more about AI, what place it has in the future of Rentman and the MCP. Take it away, Roy.
All right, Nan. That's quite the introduction. AI, the place it has. I want to focus today mostly on the MCP because we launched that indeed last quarter, and we have around 500 companies that are using it a lot, and we are co-creating this new AI workflow in Rentman. Let me share my screen. So the Rentman MCP live in public beta, and very important, we launch a lot of things. This time we took a bit of a different approach to our launch, and we launched it in the community because we think that we're quite early in the days of AIs. There are quite some use cases. We want to understand with you what's successful, what's not successful, and most important, we want all our users to learn from each other, right? So if you have good use cases, we created a community. You can post your use cases and you can learn from each other use cases on how you can create AI or use AI to get your business more efficient. I have a small setup here myself. Let me quickly demo you what I have. So I have my Rentman account here. That's probably something that you're familiar with. I use the light mode. Then maybe the difference that you're on product and I'm not. I have an email here, and I have my Claude setup. So Claude, you might be familiar with it. Some of you might use ChatGPT or you might use Google Gemini. We partner with we connect with all those different platforms, but internally in Rentman we use Claude because we think it's the most advanced feature and it's the best when it comes to safety and data protection. We have a business license in Claude, and that will keep all its data inside our instance and doesn't share that with the outside world. How did I connect it? Maybe it's good to show that to you when you go to the configuration screen. There is a integration step where you can connect your MCP server. All right, so far the technical setup, the bits and pieces. What can we do with it? Countless things. So we were prepping a webinar and we were going over what should we present. Countless ideas. Happy to show you a bit more, but I want to start with the basics and with something that we see happening a lot already throughout our customers, because we keep track of what's being used and what's not being used. And we want to start with filling up the database. So every item you see, or all the let's say basic items that we have in our software, are editable or editable through the Claude interface. So what we're gonna do? Let's start. So I've acquired some new tool. So I've acquired two Yamaha, let's say the DM3. I think that's the new kit that everybody's been using. One has serial number 3, and one has serial number 5. So I want those to be in our system. We don't have a DM3 at the moment, right? So when we search now for DM3 in our software, we don't have a DM3. So I want the software to create one, add my serial numbers, and make sure it's added to my inventory. Can you look up the specs, create the item, and add the serials to my inventory? So this is all live. Let's see what it does. If you're familiar with Claude or ChatGPT, you probably know this interface. We're using co-work within Claude. And it's now connecting with the MCP to find the right tools to kick that off. What we see here is that it's searching the web, because we don't know anything about our DM3, and we ask the users to, or we ask the interface to come up with all the details itself, so that we don't have to find all the resources. Apparently it found the website of Yamaha. It found the specs, as you can see here. So that's at least promising. Also for me, because these live demos, you never know if they work out. All right, so it's found that it got 2 different versions. It's a standard or the Dante. More advanced, let's go for the Dante. Always like it when I can sync my audio. No more XLR. So I think it has everything it needs, because now it diverts to the MCP integration, and it's setting up the right folders and the right equipment. You might think, all right, but in this time I could also input it myself. Well, be mindful that it can run without you, right? So we can start multiple of these tasks in parallel or upload our whole base of equipment. And what we also see is that people, if they So it says already has a dioptree. So it did import them. Now there we go. It's already. Did I not search correctly then? All right. So these are the things you don't want in a live demo. It apparently already added one, or I might be connected to the wrong interface. But what it should be able to do is that it now creates the item, creates the serial numbers, and adds the whole item. It looks up the weights, and creates the whole thing. Now we have to see if we might be using a different webinar here. But this is one of the, so now it goes wrong because it's already in the system. But if it wasn't in the system, it can create everything. It put up the right inventory, put up the right weights, search the right specs, and you will have your whole inventory. What you can also do here is you work with your purchase orders, or you work with the invoice that you receive from your freelancers or from your supplier. So if they come up with an invoice, it can automatically add it to the system. So if this demo was able to show you that it can add stuff to your inventory, we can also do that in bulk, right? So because of speed, now I switched to a thread that I did earlier today. And then I can ask my cloud to do an audit of my inventory, tell me where I missed my data and where the data is probably wrong. And that takes a bit of the similar things that we did before, right? So it pulls my whole inventory, and then it goes one by one over the different items that I have in my inventory, and it looks for blanks, or it verifies with public specs that it can find on the internet. And for instance, here, it found items that were not in a folder. It found items that had financial that were empty. It found items where the weight was missing. It found items where some fields were empty. And it's also something that we see quite a bit, that users trust Cloud to do a good inventory of what's missing. What people usually don't use the AI for, or today, is to have that automatically updated. So if Cloud made a audit of what's currently wrong in your inventory, you can ask to create an Excel file to update all the specs. So it goes over all the items where I think something is wrong, and you can manually check that Excel file and upload it yourself, right? So it still saves you a lot of time. You know what it should fix, but you're still in control of what you add to your database. Of course, you can also ask Cloud to update everything automatically, but that's only if you're quite risk averse. What else can we do? So this is adding equipment. This is auditing your database. We do it for inventory, but we can also do it for contacts or different fields. We can also ask it for statistics, or ask questions about your data. So, example that we see a lot. Can you provide me with how busy? Oh. So as you can see, I cannot type and talk at the same time, but I'm asking my cloud how busy I expect it to be. I wanted to show it day by day, and I want to know how much I should staff. So of course, I can build all kind of skills that explain cloud how many items per day my people can move. I can give them more insights. I can ask them to look at historic data. But now I didn't do anything, and I hope that it just gives me an estimate or a good overview on how my week is gonna look like. It takes a bit because it needs to pull all our projects and sub-projects for the next week. Need to look at all the equipment that's being moved. It's going to make some calculations. Maybe it makes sense to already to answer some questions that I see in the chat. So I see people asking, if we take delivery, can we give AI the list and tell it to update the stock? So as we just showed, yes, AI can update all those items for you. We always recommend to create Excels first, and you can import those Excels because in that way you are in control. You technically can do it. It's just how much faith you put in the system. And I also see Philippe asking, what's the best AI? I think this changes week over week. Currently, internally, we see a lot of, so we work with Claude. We also see a lot of people working now with Codex. And I think those two are the front runners. It doesn't matter much if you use OpenAI or Claude for these kind of things. It is quite significant or just as good. Right. So this is pulling all the data, takes a bit. Luckily, I also did this just before the demo to test if this worked. Asked it the same question, and then it gave me this, right? So it gave me a assessment day by day on how my wear is going to be. And then, so we see that we have, for instance, Monday, by far the busiest day. I had 1 return, 4 pickups, and you can see here the projects it went to. Right, so heavy day on Monday, light on Tuesday, Wednesday moderate. And it gives me some analysis. It gives me all the weights. It gives me the amount of items I need to move. And again, I just ask it a very, very simple question. What's my busy day in the warehouse? And can you provide me with an overview? It's up to you to tweak how you want your answers formatted, what you want, what you don't want. You can make a scale for this, and you can really go from here. Last thing I want to show, because maybe you guys ask me, so why do I need OpenAI, or why do I need Claude, or why don't you just build it in your interface yourself? And I think that is because we really believe in the power of connecting tools, right? So this is nice. It can create an overview. It will provide you some feature that you didn't have before. But I think the real value of AI and efficiency you can make is by connecting the tool that you use to start tasks for you. So I have an example here. I have a dry hire inquiry. So somebody asked me to sub-rent or to rent some stuff from me. Wireless handheld, channel mix, a lot of things he wants to rent. And normally I would pull up my Rentman, open a project, find those items, put them in, and send them a quote. And by connecting your Claude with your Rentman and your email, we can basically skip that step and have Claude do this for you. So how would that look? New task. I got an email from, who was it again? Josh from Whiteline. For a dry hire request. Can you make that into project request? So I ask it to look at my email. It's kind of find the right email and make a project request. Or at least I hope it's going to do that because that's what I asked it to do. So it searched for the email. It found the email. And again, now I'm just asking this for a single email, but you can schedule a task for it and let it every hour scan your email and let it check if there are any tasks that need to be created, or have it automated so that you can start your day by just looking at all the rental requests that came in overnight, or throughout the day. But now I'm just looking at a single instance, but the power here is if you schedule it, if you build on top of these queries. And Raoul, in the meantime, asked what's the difference with connecting Rentman API token with my cloud and connecting cloud with the MCP. I always recommend connecting with the MCP because we have quite some logic built in the MCP to guide how the software should be used. And when you're only connected to your API token, then it is try to make up itself how the system should be used. So to connect to the MCP is a way better solution. So it found some project request. It's doing its magic. And Brent is has a good observation. So he said, hey, Roy, I see the skills to Rentman dry hire. What does it do? I gave it some hints on how I want my dry hire request to be formatted. I can share that later, Brent, if you want. But for us, this helps a bit. Right, so it's done. It created a project request. So it gives a summary of the email it found. It says that it found these items. And then it also says, hey, the mixer and the lead wash, they weren't found in your database. So he suggested these ones. Now let's see what that did. So if I go to my Rentman, I see that I got a new project request. They can be found here. And this is the one it just created. Right, so to dry hire from my email, correct planning periods, and this is the list of equipment it pulled from the database. You might ask, Roy, this project request, I never seen it before. Why didn't you just create a project? I think right now at the current stage, or the current technology, AI still makes some mistakes and we want to be in control. So this interface allows us to be in control and verify every step it did before we turn it into a project. So we think this is just a bit safer, because in the end, it's your production data. You don't want to mess around with projects that are created on your behalf without you knowing. All right, so this is the project request. We continue. So it already created the client, and we can go from. It says the Grand Hotel. You can search in your database or select the suggestion. So the Grand Hotel here in Amsterdam. We're good to go. And then we got this screen. So these are the equipment that Claude found in your email. And here, as we said, the lead wash wasn't found. So this is something that you don't have by default in your database. So you can search here. Okay, what do I want to do? The other ones it matched for you. And here you can say, okay, I want it to be, well, honestly, I don't know what is in this database. Well, let's give them a Viper. It's done. I can create a project. And now project is created. It saves you a lot of time. You didn't have to do all those manual steps without losing the control, right? So you were just in control. You saw the request. You checked if the content was right. And you checked if the equipment was right. If you run this on an hourly schedule and you have a lot of dry hire requests, it saves you a lot of time. And I think that's very the power of connecting your cloud with Rentman through the MCP. I think that is the demo I wanted to give. It is in public beta, and please join us through the community. Look at the website for the community URL. We want to make sure that you guys all learn from each other and that we can invest in the use cases where you think this is really helping us. So that's how we want to bring this to the market. Yeah, and this is what I just showed you, right? So a dry hire becomes a project, supplier invoice becomes new equipment, and we can ask our Claude questions about the week, the project, and how our business is doing. Again, I'm telling it a bit faster than my slides, but join us and share your feedback because we have a team dedicated for this. We think this is the beginning and want to make sure you get more efficient by using our MCP. that's it. That's what we wanted to tell you. Thanks a lot, and we always enjoy the Q&A. There's some questions in the chat.
Yes. I saw a question from Diego. So is it now possible to post serials and also update them directly from API calls? Yes, it is. You also saw indirectly Roy just do it via the MCP. By the way, Roy, I found your lost equipment. It was archived, so it was indeed already there. So what Claude was saying was correct.
That is a problem. I shouldn't have tested before the demo. I should have go all in. Yeah. So, sorry about that.
Cowboy hat.
There's also a question, can we upload images through the MCP? I think that is currently being built. So that will go live in a few days.
I see.
Nan, was there a question you saw that you wanted to pick up?
I saw a question from Philippe. Why not use the search bar to search for the name of the tag directly? I think that's a excellent idea for a power user feature that we can think about for the future, as in, like, if you're searching a lot, you know what you're searching for. And we've talked about this internally as well while building this. And we opted for a more visual display of tags, as we also do for filtering in the lists in the various places in the application. But I think this is a great idea we can think of for the future. But that's currently indeed not possible.
A question from David, can I update a project? So we are a bit persistent in making sure that it directly writes to your projects, right? Because then it has access to all your data. And if it makes a mistake, you lose a lot. We can do that in a sandbox environment, but we don't advise you yet to do that on your production database, because the risk currently is too high. So technically, yes, but guardrails, risk-wise, we advise you not to do that.
I see a question from Diego, another question from Diego. So is it now prevented to report the same serial twice and to link it directly from the repair space instead of a project? So I just showed you the repair list on a serial level. So it's now possible to add a repair directly from the serial space. I don't know if we've included a way to not report it twice. If this is the case, please contact support at Rentman, because this is something we'd like to be aware of. But it is now easier to directly create it from a serial itself.
All right. And there is some skepticism from Sivert. Did it save a lot of time? Really? I think that's a good call. I try to address that in the demo itself as well. So if you sit behind your computer and you wait for Cloud to load, no, it didn't. But the true power is that you run it in the background. So if you schedule this for every hour, it does this. So it checks your email inbox, it creates all the project requests, and the moment you get back to your screen, or you turn on your computer, all those project requests are created already, and you only have to accept them, right? So it's not supposed to type and wait for it. We schedule it, we let it run every hour, and then we just get back to our computer, and it does it in the background. And in that sense, yes, it saves a lot of time. Oh yeah, I think this is a good one. Sorry, Nan. I see that you wanted to answer something, but as a new user of Rentman, can we use the AI to help fill the system with data? And that's actually something that came in yesterday. We got a new user. I think they were from Montreal. They switched from a different system, and they were able to set up their whole system in less than 3 days by using the AI, right? So the best way to do is let Claude create your Excel files, do some changes on the background. But so we had recently a customer who historically would have bought a migration package or had, like, let's say, a 3-month migration, who set up all the data in the right format by using AI. So yes, as a new user, it can help you. And also you can contact our support of our trainers, because we have some skills and we have some prompts and things to help you get started if you're a new user.
I also see a question from Sam. Could it run exports with different column settings? So I need one export that's a full inventory with 10 columns and another export with a different set of columns. Yeah, the beauty of the MCP is that it's talking to our API. So any of the fields on a, for instance, equipment item in your inventory are available. So you could just say, hey, I want an export with these fields, and give me another export with that fields, and it can give you two different outputs there. So that's definitely possible.
Cool. Yeah, so the same goes for repair. We can change them to the MCP. And again, also see Timothy, for example, asking, can we update prices in real projects? Technically, we advise you, or we limit now to not update things in existing projects because the chance of mistakes is too high. We will release that with more guardrails around it. And then did you find a question where you think, I know the answer?
I'm checking, I'm browsing.
Yeah, I'm the same. Will the MCP become a payable feature, or is it part of the standard improvements? I think this is a good thing where I can answer. It's our vision to have it included in the default plan, so we won't charge for the MCP. We think that slowly the MCP will help you spend less time in the interface, and we won't charge for it. So it's included, and we don't have any plans to charge extra for it.
I
All right,
see
guys.
a question from, well, I see one more question from Diego. That's actually really interesting because it's really cool to see what kind of ideas and workflows you come up with. Can we text to add Claude and ask him to generate things in Rentman based on a WhatsApp request? Now, this is not something that we currently use, but it's these kind of ideas that do inspire us to think about things in the future. So if you've got an idea like this, please reach out to us because we'd love to hear more in depth about what you've got in mind.
Okay. Then I don't know if we were very clear or we maybe didn't have a lot of updates, but I think there are not many questions. So maybe time for one or two more. No, otherwise we wrap it up. And the question from Diego, understandable to lock projects behind drafts for data integrity. However, since we can already sync Rentman equipment data via cloud, we could use modern console protocol to create secure pre-approved project workflows. Guardrails would allow safe automated edits without risking data consistency. In theory, yes. But so the problem here is when it comes to hallucination, right? So the AI doesn't always do what you ask it. 95% of the time it goes great, but the fifth time it does something that you didn't expect, and then we want to avoid that you lose some data. So we are launching the guardrails to help us protect or roll back in these cases. And then I see some people at the CRM integration, not yet out of the box. We have partners that you can work with, but we don't provide it ourselves. And will there be an enhancement that would be particularly useful for larger rental companies in the future? The ability to allocate plan extra equipment. It's quite a long question, so I'm trying to read through it. So if I understand you correctly, you want folders in your additional equipment grouped together in a single general folder. Yes, what we are currently doing is and we talked a few times about this in the product update webinars a few times, we are disconnecting our equipment groups from the times that you use, and that will give you more flexibility in the future to have more options in your equipment list. So it'll take a bit, but indeed in the future you will have more flexibility, if I understand your question correct, to do the use case that you want. Okay. Nan, I don't see a lot of new questions coming in. I think
so, yeah.
Either we were clear or there's not too much to ask. Thanks, everybody. We have quite some exciting features coming up, and I would hope to see you in a quarter from now. Thanks for joining.
Thanks a lot for checking in.
Good luck with the MCP and all the cool stuff that Nan demoed.